Welcome everyone to Rewind Recap Relive, where legends and rising stars meet. I'm your host Jonah, bringing you, I think what's safe to say, a highly anticipated episode of the show. We've got rising star, the Night Train, Justin Sane on with WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts. This is huge. We are so excited. This episode is a long time in the works, and you guys really came through on that giveaway, so let's get into that winner. Next week's episode and next week's giveaway. Now, as I just mentioned, a ton of you guys entered for the chance to win a signed Jake the Snake pop figure. 50 plus of you guys entered. I couldn't be more grateful. And the winner is not going to be announced until the end of this interview. Now, I know, it's not a heel turn. There was a winner for the signed Jake the Snake pop figure, but you're going to have to stick around till the end of the interview to find out if that person was you. Alright, now that I've got you guys, next week on the show we have an incredible manager, Midnight Guthrie, captain of the Yacht Club, alongside Holla Holla Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and you have the chance to win, quite honestly, a Teddy Long prize pack here, 2 8x10s from Teddy Long, and all you have to do is comment hashtag R3 giveaway down below. That's hashtag R3 giveaway in this full Jake the Snake Roberts and Justin Sane interview, and you'll be entered to win Teddy Long's merch. Who doesn't want that? Okay, we've taken care of the introductions. All that's left for you guys to do is please subscribe to the channel. Tons of content, always here at Rewind Recap Relive on the way for you guys. Keep your eyes open, and let's recap. Next week on the show, Holla Holla Hall of Famer Theodore Long and Midnight Guthrie, captain of the Yacht Club. Teddy Long merch. Enter that giveaway. Be sure hashtag R3 giveaway. Comment that down below. And enjoy this incredible interview with Justin Sane and Jake the Snake Roberts. Our first guest is a rising star on the independent circuit. He's predominantly wrestled in Canada, but plans to showcase his talent in the States. He has captured many championships in his career and has even achieved the honor of Grand Slam. He is the Night Train, Justin Sane.
How's it going?
Our next guest is one of the most recognized performers in the industry's history. He's a legend in every sense of the word and continues his career today with his work in AEW. WWE Hall of Famer, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Hey, guys.
So I always like to start off with something simple. How did you both get into wrestling? Where did it go from an interest to it's what you want to do as a career choice? Justin, you can go first.
How did I get into it? I feel like probably the same answer as many. You see it as a kid on TV. And then for me, I wasn't allowed to watch it because my mom thought it was too violent. So telling me not to do something is going to make me get more into it.
Yeah.
So here I am today.
Where did it go to that you wanted it to be your career?
Believe it or not, so I've been doing it for 15 years now. And of course, I got 15 when I started. So at first it was like just super cool to be doing it. It's more like a hobby. And then as I got older, like you're just learning more, got more into it. And then when I actually tore my ACL, that's when I realized how much I actually loved it. Because I couldn't wrestle for almost a year and a half. Like it just sucked. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? When I come back, like, no, this is it. Like this is what I want to do. And I set a goal for myself within 2 years. Yeah. I hit that goal, which was to have a tryout at least within the 2 years with WWE. Had the tryout. I had to lose it to really appreciate like how much I actually loved it.
That's fantastic. That's a really great story, the way to really get involved. And Jake, what about you? Where did it go from an interest to your career?
Yeah, for me, it was a totally different situation. My father wrestled, and but he didn't raise me. You know, he was an absentee father. I had a lot of anger towards him, and because he'd never show up for anything that I ever did. And I just wanted him to be proud of me, you know?
Yeah.
And a couple nights later, I was watching him wrestle. Thought came into my young brain that had been drinking quite a bit of beer previously. And that thought was, if you want your dad to get in the ring and beat up one of those wrestlers. It was an epiphany.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everything was clear. The one thing that I didn't consider is maybe that wrestler won't let you do it. And the guy that I got in the ring stretched me for about 15 minutes. And I crawled back over, and my father looked down at me and he said, I'm ashamed of you. You're gutless and you'll never amount to anything. And
Wow.
my father was 7'5", but he broke my heart. But he made me so angry that I gave up on my own dreams and became a wrestler. Well, at first it was just all hate, and that wasn't working out too well.
Yeah.
But about a year and a half into it, I got around a guy named Buck Robley, and he really helped me out and got me on my way. And shortly after that, I fell in love with wrestling. The passion was there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that can go out and get into that ring, and if they have a moment in there, they'll have to have more. I mean, it's such an incredible feeling to be able to manipulate people's emotions and make them love you, hate you in the same minute. You know, whatever you want to do is for you. And once you get started, you're hooked. Can't do a damn thing right.
And you feel you made the right choice, definitely getting hooked on something like wrestling all these years?
That's probably one of the few choices that I did right. Maybe not for the right reasons, but I made the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did the Jake the Snake Roberts persona come to be?
Well, I was always Jake the Snake Roberts, you know. I'd not used a snake in the ring, although I had suggested it to Bill Watts. But there was one small problem, and that was I'm terrified of snakes.
Are you kidding me?
I've always been afraid of snakes. I can't stand snakes. To this day, I hate snakes.
I never would have guessed.
But I know. It's crazy, man. And here's what happens. I'm in the locker room. I'm looking at that bag like that piece of crap, man. I can't stand you, you know? Then the bell rings. And once that bell rings, all of a sudden, all the fear I had, that snake is gone. It's now time to perform. And great performers go through that. You know, I can go into character. My next snake was another story. You know, I mean, there were a lot of bad moments with that snake. Tearing up the bathroom, breaking a toilet off the floor, breaking a sink off the wall, any shower curtains, flooded rooms. Had one get out of the bathroom while I was asleep, and so was Jim Brunzell. And during the night, this crawled across his face, which he woke up.
Talk a little bit about the journey to WWF.
I wrestled for a long freaking time, man. I went all over the damn country. When I first started wrestling, I was so bad that usually I'd last about a month in a territory and they'd fire me. I was horrible. I never did train to wrestle. I just did it from the trial and error method. And that is really stupid, really stupid. I suffered a lot. I got tossed around a lot. I got abused a lot. But I was just so full of hate at the time, man. It just kept fueling my fire. And then when I went up to the Pacific Northwest in 1976, things started to click. And the reason they started to click was on that long road trip up there, about 2,000 miles, I smoked a whole lot of weed, drank a few beers, and thought of my character. What would my idea of a perfect wrestler be? And that's when I started working on the whole Jake Roberts thing. Then Jake the Snake came later. But I was Jake the Snake, you know, back in Mid-South. So it didn't happen with Vince. It had already happened. The character was established. The way I came into the ring, the way I got out of the ring, the things that I do in the ring, the interviews were all the same. But, you know, you got to hone your craft, man. It doesn't get better overnight. It takes a lot of hard work. And if you don't have the passion for it, you'll never do it because it's that hard. It's that demanding. You know, you have to sacrifice so very, very much to make it to the top. Because you basically have to eat, sleep, and, wrestling. That's it.
Yeah.
You have time for nothing else in your mind. And that was horrible, man. I remember how I treated my family. I never got around them, man. I was always on the road 7 days a week. I'm learning, I'm getting better. And then once you do start to get better, it's so exciting. So exciting, man.
Yeah.
When you get that first full pop and the whole arena goes nuts, man. I know it happened for me when I was wrestling a guy by the name of Moose Morowski. And we were in a cage match in Vancouver, British Columbia. It was sold out, my first sellout. And it was an amazing evening. I'll never forget it. Never.
Justin, do you resonate with that, what Jake is saying, that when that finally clicks, when you know that you're in the industry that you belong in, that's a really powerful feeling?
Oh, absolutely. You just keep chasing. You just want to keep going after that high again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Like, it's addicting. Like, I always tell the guys, I'm like, wrestling's like Mike crack cocaine. Like, it's you just keep doing better. You want more. Like, it's really hard to step away unless it's taken away from you or you have no choice. But it's like anyone who's in any kind of like profession that they love, like basketball player, soccer player. Like, if you love it, like Jake said, you eat, sleep, breathe. That's what you do.
The reason wrestling's so different is because it's a one-on-one situation, and it's totally you and the other guy, and you got to make this magic happen, man. And it's an incredible feeling to make it work. It really, really is. And once you do it, you got to do it again, man. I mean, oh my God. And you'll fight for it. I mean, hell, I tell people that my problem was I'd have wrestled for free, because I loved it that much. I never hassled Vince about money. It was so stupid of me. I was not a good businessman.
Yeah.
Because I loved wrestling so much that there was no doubt I was going to be in the ring, I know after I hurt my neck, I wrestled for a year and a half with 2 discs that were completely blown, C6 and C7. And they told me I'd never wrestle again after that because it was so bad. And I told the doctor, I said, Doc, it's a chemical world, brother, and you don't have a clue. And I did come back.
Yeah.
Was it smart to come back? Absolutely not. I mean, I was wrestling Andre for a while. We wrestled for about 6 months every night. Well, what an experience that was. But one of the first matches we had was in Philadelphia at 2:00 in the afternoon. And during the match, I clotheslined Andre. I don't know what the hell I was thinking of. Why the hell would you clothesline him? Because he didn't go down. He didn't go down. He came through me. And when he did, it tore my left pec in half.
Just by him running through you? Wow.
Yes. It just exploded. My chest exploded. I went down, man. I thought I was dying. It hurt so bad. And I thought I dislocated my shoulders when I thought. Because all the pain was just up in the joint and everything. And Andre reached down with one hand and grabbed my bad arm and pulled me to my feet. Well, when he did that, I passed out from pain.
Oh, man, and I can imagine,
I woke up with him rocking me in the ring. He had a hold of me going, wake up, Jakey, wakey. And it's a bad thing to have a giant serenading you, man. Because
it can only lead to worse.
Going on. Yeah, what's going to happen next?
Right.
Don't put a rubber glove on anything. Okay.
And so Justin, can you tell us, Justin, who is the Night Train Justin Sane? What's your it factor, and what do you try to get across to the crowd as far as your personality?
The personality is like I have a very intense style. Like it's in your face. Like I'll eye contact right from the get go. coming down the ring. If I'm in the ring first, just stare them down. I try to kind of intimidate the opponent. The night train actually came from a play that we used in high school when I played rugby, because I was the fullback and we just had a play, and then we called night. It was literally just give me the ball, and the whole pack would be behind me, and then we just push, and we just always, no matter what, get like the 10 yards. So we knew if we needed to get like a 10-yard advance, we just did the night train play, and I would just give it every single thing I had just to make sure we got those 10 yards. And then years went by, and then I added that to my wrestling game, because like the night train didn't come till about probably 6 years ago.
Oh, that's interesting how you incorporated that to wrestling, for sure. And did you ever find it challenging to get that over with the audience, to connect with them, to show them that intensity, or did it come naturally?
At first, when I was younger, because I was like really athletic when I started wrestling. Like I didn't really get like the whole like play up to the crowd kind of thing. Like when I'd wrestle, I'd always just be focused on my opponent. When I was younger, I didn't really think about the crowd because I'd just be so focused on the opponent. Then as I got older, you realize that the crowd's the whole damn thing. And I'm like, I could be doing a whole lot less, but getting way more of a reaction if I just got the crowd into it. So then I started working heel when the night train became a thing, because I was able to stare them down, get into it, got a better reaction that way, working as a heel. To the point now they're kind of liking it because I'm just more intense. So like the name just works. Like he's just insane. I come at you with everything I have, and I'll give you every single bit, everything. If there's 50 people there, 1,000 people there, I want to put on a show. I want to make my opponent look good. I want to look good. I want the crowd to just remember, hold nothing back.
Yeah. Jake, do you see any of what you used when you were getting your character? Let's say when you got to the WWF and you were Jake the Snake, when they were evolving that character and connecting it with the audience, do you see anything of what Justin said resonating with you?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's the same thing, man. You know, to get there, you got to do certain things. And then once you discover those, you can have 50 people tell you, oh, yeah, you do it this way. But until you do it your way, it won't work. Okay? You can't be somebody else, man. You got to be who you are. And once you embrace that and you take that to the ring and you present that to the people, hey, man, they're going to eat what you feed them. You know, so if you go out there and you display a certain character and a certain style and it feels natural, that's when you know you got it right.
And you mentioned earlier how you were pitching. You pitched the idea to have the snake, but whose final say was that? Whose idea was that to have you come out with an actual snake?
Vince's.
Right.
Vince McMahon. But he wanted to carry it every night, man, and that was a pain in the ass.
I've heard stories of you that you've left the snakes different places, right? And that they would actually carry them, you take them home, right? How was it handling them?
It sucked, man, because I was getting bit all the time. Because there were guys would abuse the snake when I'd leave the room.
Oh,
and you know, there's some jerks around, man, and they had great joy doing that. So that I go get the snake out, and the snake would bite the hell out of me. Pythons hurt, man, because they got long fangs. They're curled, and having fangs broke off in you is not a pleasant trip, man, because you got to get that out somehow. And you know, I used to get so angry, man, when people would do shit to the snake, you know. But I may have done something in retaliation to a bulldog in a turn, but all I did, I fed the dog about 7 or 8 hot dogs with chili. And that kind of got my point over.
Right. Yeah. You got your payback.
Dog sprayed this hotel room up unbelievably bad.
Were there ever any guys on the road who were afraid of the snake that wouldn't travel with you?
Oh yeah. You know, Junkyard Dog, Kamala. A lot of guys would say they weren't afraid of the snake, but when it came down to it, they didn't want that damn thing on them. Yeah. You know, and I got that. Virgil hated it, man, and he nearly got it in the air every night, you know. I remember one time I shoved the snake down Virgil's pants, man, and it just kept going. It went all the way through down his leg, everything, and came out the bottom. And at one point, I was having a tug of war with the snake, and Virgil was screaming for his life, man. That was pretty rotten of me, but it was funnier than hell at the time.
I believe it. I definitely. So you had some fun on the road with those snakes. Did they have many different snakes? Because I have heard like you've left them different places. There were a lot of snakes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was a guy up in Connecticut that dealt with them. I lost a couple, but I didn't find a couple too. I lost one in the arena in Melbourne, Australia, and it was really a weird night, man. This was an independent circuit. We were in Melbourne, and Thunder Juice and Liger was there.
Yeah.
And he demanded another locker room because he didn't want to be around the snake. And the only locker room was on the other side of the arena. So they put him over there by himself. And it got time for my match, and I went into the shower to get the snake, and the snake was gone. Like, what the hell? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't find it. But Liger was on last, and whenever he came out of the showers, he walked by the toilets. The snake came out of the toilet and was hooded up and looking right at him. And that's when he grabbed his gear and went back to Japan. He didn't finish the tour.
Oh my!
And you didn't have anything to do with that? That was completely unbeknownst to you? Wow.
It was a trip. I never did get that snake back because he went back down in the toilet, and that was it. I lost one in Diamond Dallas house, got into the wall, got inside the wall, and was going around the house. And hell, him and his wife had 3 cats. They had 3 cats. They were freaking out. So I left. I came back 2 days later, and the workmen were there. They had to tear the sheetrock out of one room to find the snake, man. And they were pretty pissed off at me.
Justin, so you've achieved a Grand Slam in one company you've been with, right? Is that Alpha One?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me about your first championship win? Because clearly you've won a number throughout your career. What did the first one feel like to you?
The very first one was actually at Alpha One. So when I first started wrestling, I didn't really get many title opportunities. That's kind of just always like opener, mid-card. But I didn't really want any titles for some reason. Like I just felt like I didn't need them. I don't know why. I was just young, right?
Yeah.
But the first championship was at Alpha One. It was their top title, the Alpha Male Championship.
Right.
And it was like a whole tournament. The tournament went on for like about the whole year. And then the final match was a 4-way elimination with Michael Elgin, Cheech, Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper, and myself. And then you feel the rush. Like, it was awesome. Like, the full venue, place was packed. It was a crazy high. It's just awesome. And then, of course, you want more. You just want to just do better than that. You just want to just keep chasing that high. But it was surreal. I didn't think the crowd would I thought they're going to boo me because, like, I thought they wanted everyone else to win that match. I was like the big underdog, but like the reaction, the pop was insane. Like, it was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it definitely must have been surreal. And so what year was that? You said you beat guys like Brody Lee and Michael Elgin in that tournament?
2011, I believe. 2011, first one.
Jake, so during your WWE career, you didn't actually win any WWE championships, right? You won a ton before getting there, but you didn't actually win any being there. Can you speak a little bit to that and why that was? Did you ever wonder why? Because you were such a huge name.
Yeah, well, I knew why I wasn't getting the title is because I didn't need it.
Right.
Some guys, they're not looked upon as champions unless they have a belt. Well, Jake Roberts was a champion without the belt. And, they knew that I just wasn't going to get that title shot. They put me with Hogan twice, and the people were chanting my name. So they got a lot of heat. And
definitely
they said, we can't have that. Yeah, because Vince was like, we can't have that, Jake. I'm like, what do you mean, man? They're going nuts out there. Like, yeah, but marketing is all for Hulk, not for you. So that's when they turned me babyface, and then they would let the heels beat me that were going to wrestle Hogan the next time. That was my new job.
Putting over heel.
I prepared people for Hogan. So back in those days, they were running 3 towns a night. Well, Hogan had 1 town, and then I usually had a town. And then Mach, he flipped back and forth to different places. But what I would do is I would wrestle, say, Bad News Brown, and he would wind up beating me. But the next time that a wrestling show was in that town, Hulk would be there, and I would be in the other town, getting beat again, getting somebody ready for Hulk. You know? So, yeah. So, but it was a good spot that I had, you know, and it's not something that I desired, really. I mean, to me, the championships, man, are like, come on, guys. You know, who did you really beat to get that? Nobody.
Yeah, were there ever any guys who you saw getting the belt during your time who you felt shouldn't have gotten it? Didn't need it, maybe?
Yeah, there were several people I didn't think that did a great job with the belt. And I'm not going to go any further on that. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You know, but, you know, I don't think Bret Hart was a great champion. He's a great wrestler, but he's not exciting on interviews. That's for damn sure. And, you know, but he carried it. But let's look at the box office. What was the box office like during those days? Well, it wasn't as good as it was before. I'll tell you that. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. He did a great job, but really, you know, come on.
Very interesting take on that. Can you talk about your relationship with DDP? Did you start off as a mentor for him?
Yeah, he came to me, I guess it was like 92 or 3, and he came to me and he told me he's going to get into wrestling. I knew him from before when he was running nightclubs. He had a nightclub down in Fort Myers called Norman Jeans, and he used to be really hot. So we'd wind up in there a lot, and we became friends. But then a few years later, I said, he's like, yeah, brother, I'm training to wrestle. I'm like, man, how old are you? He's like, I'm 37, you know. I'm like, 37, man. Are you kidding me? He's like, no. I'm like, man, that's too old, brother, to get started. He's like, yeah, that's what Flair said. I'm like, Flair told you that? He goes, yeah, the exact same thing. I'm like, to hell with it. I'll teach you. I just to prove Flair wrong.
Yeah.
And so I taught him, and I proved Flair wrong. That DDP could do it. That he was, you know, a top guy.
He was. He went on to have a great career. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, not a real long career, but it was good, man. He made some money, took care of himself, and very proud of the guy. But you know, our relationship, you know, started back then, and you know, as time went on, and we went our different ways, and I was going through my BS. Then we got back together, man, and you know, he reached out and saved my life. You know, and
really came full circle, right?
Yeah, it was surreal, man, because I stayed with him for 3.5 years, man. It wasn't an overnight job.
Yeah.
You know, you don't smoke cocaine and drink beer and alcohol and take pills for, you know, 25 or 30 years, and one day you decide you're going to stop. Hey, that don't happen a lot. You know, it's a little work. Yeah,
so that was 3 years.
And, you know, he had to help me, man. He had to set up things for me, you know, set up where if I was going to go out of town to work, I had to take somebody with me, you know, and I had to pay all their and pay them for going, you know, but that was the law, man.
Right.
Because if I went, I'd wind up getting drunk, man. You know, nobody dreams of becoming an alcoholic. It's something that happens along the way, man.
Right, but we're all very thankful that he did reach out and help you, definitely over the long run. And you're looking great in AEW. You really are.
10 years sober now, man.
Congratulations. Justin, can you talk a little bit about your mentors throughout your career so far? And it could be trainers or anyone who helped you on this journey along the way.
Ernie the Executioner Moore was the owner of the Living Legends Wrestling Academy, which was in Hamilton, where I started. And he used to wrestle in the WWF way back then. I'm not sure if you recognize that name at all, Jake, but he was great. He took me under his wing, and I remember his main thing he told me was, because I was athletic when I said before, right? And I didn't really quite understand the gist of it. And he goes, if you just make sure you jump for everything, really high like you do, people will see it. Just keep. He just kept pushing me. He's really good at hiding what you're not very good at, but having you really propel what you're good at. And then that helped me slowly get better at other things. So he was that first guy that I just kind of always looked up to. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I feel bad. I should really reach out to the guy. But a lot of us in Hamilton, from that place, they'll say they were self-trained because then the school kind of just closed. So the school closed down, when we were really getting into it, and then it was you're just doing shows. So now at this point, you're just learning at shows. And there's other schools in the area, but at the time, I had no way to get there because I was still very young when I started this, right? And then I hurt my neck when I was 17, but I was 110 pounds soaking wet. So that's when I was well, if I actually put on some size on this body, maybe I won't get hurt like that again. So one of the mentors to help me just put on size was a guy that I met at the gym at Good Life, Chris. So if it wasn't for him just being you got to eat, you got to lift every day, he kicked my ass. And then I came back into wrestling, and that's when just people believed Justin Sane. Because at first I didn't look the part at all. Didn't look the part, act the part. So there's just a bunch of people who've helped me along the way at different parts of my career. Now, right now, I don't really have a mentor per se, but I just have a really close, tight group of guys who are in the business, and we just help build each other up, and we just always got each other's back. And it's really hard to find in this business. I'm sure you know, Jake, it's tough. A lot of guys would be really friendly to your face and everything, and they'll generally mean it, but there's still just so much shade, and you still just gotta watch your ass. So it's nice to just know you have that core group who will always have your back no matter what. Tell you how it is, be honest with you, tell you, hey, that match sucked. Why did you do that? Instead of coming to the back saying, hey, how was that match? And someone saying, oh, it was awesome, man. It's great. Don't change a thing. When really the match was shit. How are you supposed to get better if you don't know what you did wrong, right? So I appreciate those guys who will just tell you how it is. Just be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. And Jake, do you resonate with that at all? That you have to watch your back in this business? Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to watch your back in this business. It's a jealous world out there, man, and everybody wants that top spot. I was foolish. I didn't see all that, and it cost me dearly, man. A lot of people did a lot of things that weren't right, and they got to live with themselves, though, I guess. And I wouldn't want to be that way. At least whenever I look in the mirror, I feel good about what I've done in this business and who I done it with, and how I done it, because I always gave 100%, and it was my passion was to go out there and have the best match. Not do the most bumps, but have the best match. Because
something that they'd remember.
Bumps, yes, something that's what's different today. I think today that the wrestlers today are going out there and trying to give them visual excitement, whereas in my day you tried to hook up with the fans emotionally. Yeah. And the difference in that being, if you hook up with somebody emotionally, they're your fan for life. And that's the kind of fans you want, man. Somebody's going to follow you to the deepest, darkest, areas and back.
Yeah.
And wrestling fans are the greatest fans in the world, man. They are. They really are. If they love you, they love you forever.
That's such an interesting perspective. And being with AEW right now, as you are, being backstage, I'm sure you get asked advice a lot.
Yeah.
From a lot of the younger guys.
Yeah, they're talking, and I'm more than happy to help them, man. I was always a guy that wanted everybody's match to be better. Because if everybody's match is going to be better, then we're going to make more money. because there'll be more people coming. So I was always the guy that would help anybody, you know, with whatever. And it gets frustrating when you teach somebody something and they just didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have it in their mind. They don't know. They haven't found it yet, man. And I feel sorry for those guys. I feel sorry for these guys that are going out there doing 1,000 damn bumps, man, because they're afraid to go out and wrestle. You know?
Yeah,
they don't
and
think they can hook people emotionally. Well,
yeah.
You got to take time to do that. You can't do it in 10 seconds. But the guys today are moving so fast out there and doing so many things that they destroy their own credibility, you know. And
Right.
And once you destroy your credibility in the ring, you don't get it back, man. You don't get it back. So be careful what you do out there.
Absolutely. And is there anyone in particular with AEW that you see that you give advice to and they take it like that, like really quick, fast learner?
Lance
Yeah.
listens and he goes with the man, and Ortiz and a couple of others, you know, that are listening. And I'm just glad to be there, man. I'm so
Absolutely.
happy there. Tony Khan is a sweet, sweet man, and he's given a lot of guys opportunities, man, and that's awesome.
It really is. Yeah, it's really great seeing the people that they have there. It's a wonderful roster of guys, including you and a couple of other legends. And speaking of guys who you've worked with in the past, so currently right now, Undertaker has just retired, right? And I was thinking you were the second victim of his streak. Was there any thoughts back then that he would go on to win for 20 plus more years, or was that when? No,
nobody could have guessed that, man. You know, nobody in the right mind would even attempt to say that they could. Oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, boom. You know, I'm still mad. I'm still mad that Lesnar beat him. Okay, so I'm a mark. Why put a blemish on it, man?
Right.
Well,
it took a lot of hard work, you know, like over all those years. So how was he back then, Undertaker and you? Did you two get along well?
Yeah, we traveled together, man. I remember when I first met him, he came up to me, he said, I'll travel with you. I'm like, why? He said, 'cause you know where all the strip joints are at. You know? Boom, a marriage happened, man. And we traveled and we talked. And a lot of, you know, there was so much done on the road back in our day, man. You know, riding down the highway, talking in the car after a match. That's when you pick your match apart, man. You know, you get a couple of beers in you, you relax. Now you're ready to listen. And your mind's a little open to trying different things, you know.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was a great process, and Taker was always there to listen, you know. And I think somebody asked him a question about if you needed to know something and you didn't know it, who would you go to get the answer?
Mm-hmm.
And his answer was Jake Roberts. So I thought that was pretty cool, man.
That is really cool. And what are your thoughts on him retiring right now? Did you reach out to him? Did you say anything?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I still don't believe it.
I know it's surrounded by a lot of controversy for sure, or you know, it's very unknown. Justin, I'm sure that you haven't worked with Undertaker, right? So that's just a guess. but so what are your thoughts as a fan then and a professional wrestler on him retiring?
Oh, it's super sad because Undertaker is like one of my top favorites. Like he's awesome. So like I thought he was going to retire when I was at WrestleMania. We were in Florida. And we watched him lose to Roman Reigns.
I was there too. Nice.
Took the hat off. He put the coat away. So I thought that was it. And I was like, okay, this really sucks because I'm not a huge Roman Reigns fan. But I'm like, this is kind of a cool way to go. It's at WrestleMania. Like you went out hard. But then he came back to do the match in Saudi Arabia. So I guess he was still kind of in and out. And then I guess like the documentary kind of obviously revealed that he retired. But guy, like a crazy career. Like literally top guy, top to finish. Like seriously, like you couldn't ask for a better career in my opinion. Like it's sad to see him go, but like he's done so much. Let him just enjoy his life, enjoy his retirement, come back, come say hey here and there. But like it's sad, but like I'm happy for the guy. Like great career.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And Jake, I want to get into your promos. Can you tell us what makes them so captivating from back in WWF to now, even in AEW? You're always able to captivate, and you talked a little bit about psychologically connecting with the audience. But what is it that goes into your promos to make them so memorable?
Well, the first thing I do is I don't yell.
Yeah.
Because, if somebody walks into a room and screams, nobody's going to listen to that crap. But if you walk into a room and go, hey, man, I got a secret. I got to tell you something. Come here. Everybody in the room wants to hear what you had to say. So that's kind of where I went with that. And, talking slow and playing the mental games, man. That was my key to success, thinking about things that have been said that resonate through you without question. There's something in the closet. Everybody knows there's something in the closet. Something under the bed. Of course there's something under the bed. We're told about that when we're kids. And don't touch snakes, they're bad. Okay, you've implanted that fear. So all I got to do is play a song that has the words that you're afraid to hear in sequence. So I had such pleasure doing interviews. I never had to think about what I was going to say. I just opened my mouth and the shit rolls out. And I'm so grateful for that, man. And
it's a great gift.
Took a lot of work, man, to get it. And even when I was trying to get it established, there were people say, "Oh, you can't do a damn interview." Yes, well, I'm going to try. Because anytime you go against the norm, everybody says, "Oh, yeah, that'll never last." Oops. I'm getting some of the guys at AEW to think about their interviews that way too. So don't be surprised if you see somebody come along that you go, "Hey man, he sounds like Jake a little bit,"
Can you give us any spoilers as to who that may be?
No.
No? All right, we'll wait. Suspense is good. So Justin, how have you enhanced your promo skills throughout your career? There's a clear contrast with Justin Sane, that intensity, and then Jake Roberts, a different type of intensity, we'll say, with the whispering. So how do you get Justin Sane across in your promos?
So believe it or not, promos was my weak point. I still don't think they're the very, very best. Like that's still something that I need to work on. But that's just me, right? Yeah. But at first I'm just doing a promo, kind of just talking like this. And then they just weren't really captivating. And then after years go by, I'm like, well, like I'm freaking Justin Sane. Like, why am I just going to be kind of just talking kind of monotone? So I'm like the opposite of Jake. I want you to hear what I'm telling you. I want you to believe me. So I'm actually screaming at the camera. I'm not screaming, but you can still hear me like clearly, like really intense look. And then that kind of helped a little bit better. Also another thing, I went to like slow it down a bit. So even if you have a great promo, Ready to Rumble, if you're going way too fast, they're not going to catch it. They're not going to pick it up. They're going to miss like your punchline or like your key points that you're trying to get across. So still something I'm working on, trying to get a little better. But of course, I don't need to be screaming every single time. It'd be great to just like if you can get a promo over like Jake over here, like whispering into the camera, not screaming, just like that dead cold stare into the camera, and you like have people like this every single time. That's a damn good promo.
Yeah,
I think the key to a great promo is if you don't look at the camera, you look through it.
Oh, snap!
I never looked at the fans. I always looked through them. Just put so much intensity that I can actually just push myself right through them. And once you do it and you get that, then you're ready to go ahead and crank it down real low and then play with it. It's all about delivery. You can say delivery, or you say delivery. You know, and John Wayne said that for a fact. He said, when I first started in these cowboy westerns, I didn't have many lines, so I just said them real slow. You know, you'll get your time. You'll get your time.
Oh, absolutely. That's great. I love that. That's a good John Wayne quote. So you've been in feuds, Jake, with so many greats, right? So Ricky Steamboat, Andre, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how they helped to evolve the Jake the Snake persona throughout your career? Did you take pieces from those matches and incorporate them into, you know, the grand finale that we saw?
Well, I think definitely whenever I stepped up to the Cobra and had the Cobra by Macho Man, that was certainly a good twist.
Insane.
It was great.
I know I enjoyed that hell of it. Even if Macho Man made me let the snake bite me first in the back.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
He wouldn't go and do it. Didn't even want to fight me if I wasn't going to do it. He thought I was setting him up to be killed.
And then he made you guys sit around for a while, right?
Yeah. Don't take no antidotes. Don't take no pills. Don't take no pills. Yeah. Elizabeth, watch him. Yeah. Freak out. He was a trip, bro.
Yeah. And what about guys like Andre? I know you spoke about that earlier. How were those people, backstage? Who did you get along best with?
Oh, me and Andre got along real well. We like to play cribbage. So we'd play cribbage every night, man. And then I got along with Hacksaw really well. We were real tight for many years. And, we always rode together. If I wasn't riding with Undertaker or Duggan, I was by myself.
Okay.
I didn't get up with a bunch of guys and call ourselves a clique or anything like that. I went out and did my damn job.
And did you ever travel with Andre?
Years and years ago, I drove him to home from one show, and he made me stop and get him beer, and he wanted 2 cases, and it was a 90-mile drive. And I got a 6-pack. And after 2 beers in 40 minutes, I got a wee, and
yeah.
I pull over and piss and get back in the van, drive another 40 miles, pull over and piss and do it again. And Andre never got out, man. And I remember that night, he got out of the van and I got back there on my hands and knees and felt around the floor because I just knew there was piss somewhere. And didn't piss to the floor, man. He actually held all that fucking beer, man. And, I don't care if he's drunk or not. Just the fact that you got 48 beers in your belly and you ain't
That's
pissed
an accomplishment.
yet is amazing.
That's
oh, my
ridiculous,
God.
Yeah.
That's just, that ain't right, man. My bladder,
No.
I can't hold the damn up, Forget about it. I never drank beer and kept it. I just rented it for about 30 seconds and let it run through me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Justin, can you speak about any feuds that helped you further your career? Or were there any that stand out to you as a prominent moment?
The first feud that stands out was the feud with Brody Lee at Alpha One, because again, that was the first big indie guy that I got to work with. And then now recently, I've been feuding with a guy named BMD at Alpha One, and this started about 2 years ago. So I was coming off of my knee injury. So he was the young up and comer at Alpha One, big baby face. And at the time, I was kind of a tweener.
Mm-hmm.
So then I came back, I attacked him. The heel was back, and I didn't think the feud was going to be that great because he was still green at the time, he was still new. So we had our first match, just clicked. He listened, we have great chemistry, and we've been feuding for 2 years now. And every match is different. It's not the same, and we just know each other's limits. And I just love working the guy, just love working the guy. And I'm oh, thank God this isn't back in the day where we can actually hang out, where it's not a curtain call incident type deal. But no, great guy, great chemistry. I love the feud we have, and when his career is over, I know I'm gonna remember that feud because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to have this much fun with it, or for the crowd or the fans to just be that into it.
Yeah, and so you reference the curtain call. So you prefer that today the heel versus face kind of act that you put on, you don't associate with each other after the fact, like in Jake's time, right? So Jake, did you enjoy that when you were a heel? Did you interact with people like who you were feuding with, or was that kind of kept behind closed doors?
No, I didn't.
Never.
No, I didn't. Nope, I didn't feel like that was right. People have been told enough that wrestling's fixed and phony and all that stuff, but why slap them in the face with it, man? They're spending their good hard-earned money to come watch us, so let them hide in that dream just for a minute that it is real, man. That's what they want to believe. They want to get lost in the excitement and the athletic thing that's happening in front of them. They want to be a part of it, man. They want to get lost in it so they can forget about their mundane bullshit job, or their boss is screwed with them every day, or the ex-wife is driving them nuts. They just want to forget, man. That's the reason they come to matches. They want to get lost in this thing, man.
Justin, so you think it's helped you though, right? Like it's allowed you to make this friendship with this individual, having that dynamic change over the years.
Oh yeah. Like the times are different. Obviously back then it's different. Like we wouldn't be like hanging out at intermission or anything.
Right.
But like we wouldn't be scared to like after the show's done to like say, for example, you go out to eat together or something like that. But like obviously like I like the venue. No, but I kind of like that because sometimes the people I'm feuding with, they're like some of like my best friends in the business. So I couldn't imagine like where there'd be a time where it's like, oh, you cannot talk to that guy you're feuding. Like I totally get what Jake mean. I totally 100% get it. I get it. But like at the shows, we obviously keep the distance, not posting like pictures on Instagram together with them or anything like that. And that's for like wrestling or something.
So Jake, I'd like to throw it over to you now. So you had your own promotion, Real Stars of Wrestling, right? In 2002. Is that correct?
Oh my God!
I want
not really.
Not really. Okay, I'd never heard about it before until recently. What was Real Stars of Wrestling? Was it just a short-lived deal?
Yeah, it's a short-lived thing, and again, I'm not a good businessman. I wasn't watching the box office, and there were people cleaning it out for me. So, yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, my thought is, man, look, I don't have to have the whole pie. I just want a nice slice, okay? Yeah. And that's the way I feel about it, man. I think everybody should make money in this business, man. You're sacrificing your body. You're taking a chance of crippling yourself in each and every match, And hell, back in the day when we were rolling, man, I guarantee you there's not many people who could have just done our travel schedule, much less wrestle too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts, man. We were wrestling, wrestling 11 times a week, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. And then you do a TV taping for 2 days. In that week, you wrestle 15 times.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, that is a taxing schedule.
It was brutal, man, brutal. I wrestled Ricky Steamboat 93 days straight. And your body breaks down, man. We were traveling every day and wrestling every night, 20, 25 minutes. It was gutting it, man. And it was a blast. But, man, after a while, I got to where, hey, man, I'm fucking hurting,
Yeah.
And how come I can't talk right now? Because my brain is all scrambled. Where's my hands down there? Shit messed up. I had to have my wife travel with me one time for about 3 weeks because I literally could not talk. I was just in a daze. But yet when the bell rang, I put that smile on, kicked that door open, threw that snake up in the hair, up on my shoulders, and off we went, man. Just do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Justin, so you've been with a number of independent promotions now, right? Can you tell us which one had the most positive impact on your career?
For me, like Alpha One, always a place in my heart. but I would say CWI. They're not around anymore. But that was like the first show where I guess I'd say I got like a break because it was a dark match, but Hulk Hogan was on the show, X-Pac, the Nasty Boys, Ted DiBiase, Virgil. I was 19 at the time, so I was like, holy crap, because people voted who they wanted to have at that show. And then I got like an email and I was like, this can't be real. No one even knows who the hell I am. But I guess they did. But CWI was huge for me because that just build up the confidence. Destiny World Wrestling, that was huge. My first pay-per-view.
Jay, could you talk a little bit about the AEW Backstage Culture versus that WWE Backstage Culture that you experienced back in the day? How do you see that that's different?
Well, the biggest thing about AEW is everybody's happy. Everybody's got a positive attitude. Everybody knows they're going to get their time in the ring. I think there haven't been many promises broken that I know of at AEW. And that's the big WWE, everything changed from day to day, man. You never knew what was going on, But with AEW, man, you're comfortable about you trusting people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest difference, trust.
Yeah. And when you signed with AEW, what was going through your mind? Did you think that it would be as easy as it was to connect Jake the Snake with those maybe a new generation of fans?
Oh yeah. It still works. What I do still works.
Yeah.
And it'll always work because it's done right.
Right.
And, you can't pick a hole in it because it's all solid. All my stuff was solid. You can't say, "Oh, that was lame." No, what, bro? Bring it on. Step right up. Let me fill your pocket full of gold. And it's just a great thing, man, to be given that opportunity to come back. And I can't wait till we get back out on the road again, man. So we're going to different places and there's people in the arenas again. Because I'll tell you, man, it is very, very, very hard to wrestle with no fans.
Yeah.
That's the toughest thing you'll ever do. Because every damn thing you do hurts. Because you're not getting that adrenaline that you normally get from the people.
Yeah.
That's why the fans were so important, man. It's because their bodies are just gushing with adrenaline and excitement. Oh, my God, they're foaming at the mouth, man. The match hadn't even started yet. What the hell? We got it going, man. We ain't got to do nothing. Just let them do it.
Yeah.
So the fans are so very, very important, man. And I can't wait to get them back out there. And I'm going to start doing my comedy show again once we start going back on the road because I miss doing that. I have a lot of fun doing the comedy stuff, man. It's crazier than hell, funnier than hell, no doubt about that. But, I've got a lot of great things going on right now, man. I got a book that's about to come out. AEW, of course. Cameo. And I do a lot of, you know what cameos are, man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cameo's doing great right now. Everyone's on there.
A ton of cameos, man. A ton. And I love doing them, man. And, now I found out they've got another company in Europe that you could actually do the cameo thing in Europe. It's not called Cameo. It's called Memo.
Oh, okay.
And we're about to start doing that too, man. So, I've got a lot of things going. I got a couple of movies that are coming up. I got a TV series that's coming up.
So you're keeping busy during this. Wow.
Oh, man. Real busy. And I'm real busy. And the last few weeks, I've had a couple of surgeries done. I've got one more to go, and I'm having it next week. And nothing to worry about.
Okay.
The things that were scary have already been put to rest. I had a couple of spots on my leg that I thought were going to turn out like my other spot on my other leg did, which was cancer, but it wasn't. And glad to get that test result back. And I'm glad to finally be able to straighten all my fingers on my left hand. For years, I had not been able to straighten my little finger. It was curled up. But they went in and rerouted some stuff, and left me one hell of a damn scar. I'll tell you that, man. It's gnarly looking. And they had to cut a ligaments, one in my thumb, one in my little finger, because my ligaments are contracting. My brain's sending messages. My toes are curling under. So, hey, man, that's what happens when you get hit in the head as many times as I did. You know, you start having problems, man. And
yeah,
I wouldn't change anything, man. Even the bad years, I wouldn't change those, because the way I feel about life right now, man, is so crazy. I'm so grateful that I came out the other side with this addiction thing. Now I'm able to help other people that are struggling with addiction. I help a lot of people, man. The best feeling out of this business I've ever got was from a little kid that wrote me a letter thanking me for helping his daddy get well, because my daddy has moved back home with me. Man,
wow.
That crushed me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to cry, man. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm able to help people overcome addiction just by telling them, if I did it, so can you. You know? And
really inspirational. Yeah.
Yeah, I love helping people, man. I love helping people. That's why Dallas does it, man. Because, let me tell you something. If you want to get high, go help somebody that needs help, okay? Somebody that really needs help, go help them and see how good that feels. Oh, my God, does it feel good. Oh.
It sounds like a great feeling. And we're really happy that you're enjoying yourself so much with everything, the movie, AEW, the comedy show. Congratulations on everything. And Justin, you've been keeping busy too, right? You're a personal trainer. Can you speak a little bit about that? Do you get that same feeling from helping people? Do you help people get in shape kind of like how you did for wrestling? How has it helped your career?
Oh, absolutely. That's the reason why I got into personal training, was because I started working out for wrestling, and then I was already at the gym. So I was like, okay, well, start working here. And no, that you can have a whole year of clients getting zero results just because they don't want to follow the program or eat properly at home. But if you just get at least one client out of that whole year who has a transformation and you change their life, it's worth it. And you forget about the other 50 who could care less to kind of really go above and beyond. I'm not saying they all don't care, but when you have that one good transformation, like at least once a year, like really change someone's life. Like just small things. Like I had a lady, bigger lady, and she said it was the first time she went to stores called the Chanel, like where plus size women shop. And she's now too small to shop there. So that was huge to her. So just small things. That's like awesome, that. Little things like that. So like you have your good days, you have your bad days, but just take sometimes that one person to just really get you out of a really crappy day, whether it's a comment from a fan or helping out a kid's dad. Just, it's a great feeling. He's totally right. Like helping people, it's great.
Yeah, you're building people, man. You're building people to a better life. And you've shown them the way. Now they can show somebody else. You know, if we all start helping each other, the world would be a pretty damn good place to be in.
Yeah. The cool thing I like about my job is I'm going to help a lot of the wrestlers in the indie circuit. They'll come ask me for some help, and then like give them some advice, whether it's meals or because obviously like a wrestler's training routine isn't going to be the same as someone who works like a 9 to 5, right? Like you definitely need some flexibility.
Yeah. And Jake, do you have any advice for Justin going forward in his career?
Hell yeah, man. Come to AEW.
Here's my number.
Here's what you do, bro. If you love it, keep doing it.
Yeah.
You don't love it, put it down, walk away. Do the things that make you happy. Your character. Don't let anybody tell you how to be you. You be you. You know that better than anybody else. That's it, guys.
Perfect. So you stuck around. Well, I gotta tell you, it's tough to give away, but the winner of the signed Jake the Snake pop figure is Chief Baller. Congratulations, you're the winner. Thanks for entering. We will be in touch. I hope you enjoyed our show, and I'll see you next time.
Woo! Message Daddy. Boogie Woogie Man feel good. I tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare Don't you dare miss online. Rewind, recap, relive. Oh yeah!